crashed it 11 times in 1 year.
In 10 years' time, you'll think that's the best thing I've done.
Hey, I'm Tim. This is Howden Originals. We're chatting to classic collectors and classic motor traders across the UK. Today, I'm joined by Steve Earl from Panel Graphic. Welcome.
Hi, Tim.
Talk to me about your amazing man cave.
I'm a bit of an addict.
I can see that.
I'm known for being a bit of a perfectionist. I've always been into cars. As soon as I realised there was a few cars out there that were perhaps a little bit special, like unicorn cars, put it that way, that are in unbelievable condition and low mileage, and cars that have been loved, cars that have got stories. And I think it's that story behind the car that makes me think, oh, I want to inherit that story. And I'll write it down, I'll put it in the paperwork, and the story in the background becomes as much as the car. And so, you know, they're all my little babies, and I think a lot of them, and I don't really want to part with them, and some people don't get it.
I mean, it's an epic collection. Do you know, when you first see a car, do you know straight away that that's the car that you want before you do all the million hours of research?
Yeah. You know, I know what colours I like, and I know what models I like. So, you know, if there's, like the Cortina.
Yeah.
You know, if the Cortina was a deluxe or was an L, I wouldn't be interested. If it's something like a GT, or it's a Crayford, or it's something a bit special, and I know it's got the history behind it, you know, I'm interested in it. I'm interested in it for my business, that we'll talk about in a sec, that I started up 12 years ago with my business partner. But I'm also interested in it for me. Obviously, I can't buy everything. I don't want to buy everything. I'm not allowed to buy everything. It wouldn't be good for business if I bought everything.
Yeah.
But there are some cars out there, yeah, that I know they're right for me, but sometimes I have to let customers buy them as well.
So do you buy these cars with a view to selling them?
Yes, eventually. I would say most, I want to know that the money's safe. But, you know, the long-term plan, obviously, I'm a custodian of these cars. They're not really mine. They're probably as much the wife's as they are mine. Something happens to me, they become hers.
Are you legally binded to say that, or is that?
Probably. Obviously, she's allowed me to do this. You do need to have an understanding wife, an understanding family.
Fair enough. So tell me about the first car. What was the first car you bought into your collection?
I have to go back a little bit. When I was 16, I bought a Mark III Cortina two-door from the local scrapyard.
At 16?
At 16.
Couldn't drive?
Couldn't drive.
Nice.
Went to the scrapyard, had them deliver it to my home. Turned up in the drive. My mum and dad weren't too happy. But it was a two-door Mark III Cortina. I hadn't seen many two-doors. Most of them were four-doors. And I was fascinated by this car. The styling is better, the shape is better, the Coke bottle styling that Cortinas have. I sat in the car in the drive, playing in my level 42
Nice.
tape deck.
Yeah.
Annoyed the parents because I started to take it apart. I took the bumpers off and I sprayed the wing and I put paint on the drive and things like that. But that car was my baby, you know, that was it was my space. I sat in it and I loved the car. So about 10 years ago, when I saw a two-door, 2-litre GT Mark III Cortina, the one sitting over there, I knew that was it. I had to get it. I sat in it, it smelt the same and it looked the same and had the same wheels on and the same chrome bits around the wheels, and it just brought it all back.
I mean, your collection is ever-changing. I can't help but notice the Mines Skyline here. Tell me a bit about that.
I love Fords.
Yeah.
Like certain old Vauxhalls. My kids and my business partner at the classic car business is very much into JDM and the cars of 90s era rather than 70s and 80s era. The cars that the people in their 30s and 40s love, and the growth in value is going to be quite big over the next 20 or 30 years, rather than the people like me who like 70s Cortinas. So the kids and my business partner have said, you need to think about modern classics and JDM cars. So started with the Supra, and they got the Corolla A82 and the Accord. The Accord is actually quite an interesting car for me, the Accord. A bit connected with the family. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then really one of the daddies of that era is the R34. The R34 people really love. The Mines R34 is a special car. So when I saw it in Japan in September, decided I need to add it to the collection. And some of the cars now are growing into Japanese cars. The Starion as well, a very rare car. Don't see them in the UK. But as soon as you see a very low mileage car with a really good history, the Mines car has got full Japanese documented. I've got the invoices, which is unusual because normally when the cars come over, all the paperwork gets left behind. All done by Mines, so it's got history. Even though I don't really know the history, I don't really know the owner, I do because I can sit and I can flick through the paperwork. But it's a special car, and it's the right time to buy that sort of car.
That's fantastic. Do you want to talk to me about the Accord then? Tell me about that.
The Accord. 2000, my first business car was a Honda Accord Type R. Bought it from a dealership in Norwich. Still there. 3 kids, back seat, crammed with booster seats and car seats. They love the car because it's got a whiz. I don't know whether you know, the Accord Type R, when the VTEC kicks in, it just takes off. It sounds a lot quicker than it actually is going, but it's that sensation. I once was chased by the police.
Were you?
Yeah.
Good work.
I can talk about this now. Because
you can absolutely talk about that. I think it's under Rehabilitation of Offenders Act. I think you're going to be fine. Tell me more.
I was out in the city and had the 3 kids with me. And they talk about this to this day. And I had a mate in the front, and I thought I need to kick the VTEC in. But we were through the centre of Norwich. So obviously I had to go over 30 miles an hour to get the VTEC to kick in.
Absolutely.
Got the VTEC to kick in, and then the blue lights started flashing. And I thought, oh my God, she's going to kill me. I got the 3 kids in the car, and they're going to be stopped for speeding. So I just stuck my foot down. I stuck my foot down, not for long, but I stuck my foot down, and I left the police car, pulled into someone's drive fairly quickly, sat against our lounge window. The lights come on. We sat in the car, our kids in the back. The kids were saying, Dad, what are you doing? I said, I'm just going to sit here, I'm just going to sit. The police car went past. I sat in the drive, the people came out. Got away with it.
I mean, that's a great story. I love that. Did they make you a cup of tea, or did they?
They understood. They understood. It was the love of the car.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But it was the same colour, the same model, the same everything that car is. Very low mileage car. Took probably 15 years to find that car. So that's probably my second favourite.
And what about it when you drive it? Do you still look out for blue lights now, or?
I tend to go slow now because I don't want any stone chips.
Very sensible, very sensible. So Steve, your car collection, you've actually set up a classic car business off the back of that. Tell me a bit about that.
I suppose, the car collection and the classic car business started at the same time, really. So, one didn't happen without the other. 12, 13 years ago, I bought a Golf convertible. Nice Golf convertible. Golf convertibles aren't worth as much as a tin top, hard top.
Yeah.
There's a nice
I can see
GTI Golf over there. We bought this convertible, me and Richard, Richard at the time was an employee at Panel Graphic. He's now my son-in-law. Okay. We bought this car, we tidied it up between us, we took it to a local car auction. It did really well in the auction. And I thought, I've actually enjoyed doing this, because I don't know whether you can tell, I like cleaning cars. People say to me, do you clean your own cars?
Cotton buds.
I like cleaning cars.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I like it. I like housework. I don't want to start talking about that, but I do quite like it. And that's why I've been married so long. And did this Golf, did well out of it. We did another one, did well out of that. The second one was Cosworth. We did a 3-door white Cosworth, which, when they used to be cheap, they're not anymore. And I said to Richard, I think we could do something with this. So literally we started, he came off the books of Panel Graphic, came up with this name, Appreciating Classics, because I do think it's a perfect name for what we do. And Appreciating Classics has just grown. There's now 5 or 6 people full-time employed there. They've got their own workshops. Like I said, incredible attention to detail. We steam clean and we dry ice, so we can dry ice underneath the car and we can take everything off it and make sure all the factory labels are still intact and still readable. And they make the cars, as perfect as they can be. And the collectors that we've now got are repeat buyers. And some of them have got lots of cars, and they
more than you.
And they a lot more than me, a lot more. And they trust Richard. He knows the ins and outs of cars, and he doesn't guess. He will investigate. He will check, so that the facts the customer gets are facts. And that's what it's about. All our customers want to know that they're buying something which is right. Cars can have really good history, or they can have bad history, can't they? There's no saying that where it's been and what's happened. So we make sure that we look after the customers, and the business has really grown into a very well respected, well known business. And you look on their website and see this type of cars they sell. They're now setting the price for certain cars. They've literally broke world records or UK records of pricing, because we're getting unicorn cars that are unrepeatable. I'd love to own them all, but I can't do that.
Fair enough.
Because I'm not allowed.
Yeah. No, I get. I think the thing is, because you can go online and buy any type of car.
Of course you can.
You?
Of course you can.
But equally, you could buy something for 30 grand.
You can.
Spend 100 grand on it, and actually, I suppose buying from you guys, you're saying that I've bought it. I don't really need to do anything more to it.
Well, the VX220 is 800 miles from new. It is factory fresh. It is. If you lay it on the floor and looked underneath, you will not see a single bit of grit. It looks exactly like it came out the factory. It's 22 years old, and it's like brand spanking new. There isn't going to be many out there like that.
No.
But if you buy it, that's the best.
Yeah.
That sets the price. That drives the market. But there are collectors out there that want to know, that's bragging rights, I think, and well, I've got one, and well, mine's only got 2 miles.
Yeah.
We've sold cars with 2 miles on the clock. Incredible.
I can testify. I have been on the floor in the garage today, underneath the mines, and it's just a thing of utter joy.
Yeah, it's lovely.
So we've been quite scripted today. Is there anything else that you want to get off your chest? Do you want to talk about electric cars that wind people up a little bit sometimes, or anything else you want to have a chat about?
Not really. Don't want to talk about electric.
No, fair enough. Do you not see those in in 10 years' time? Do you think they might have
you can't see an electric car as an appreciating classic, can you? I don't think. Personally, I think just because the car's quick doesn't make it good.
No, fair point. What about sustainability though? A lot of car manufacturers or even classic car specialists are now running synthetic fuel. Do you think that's probably a better way to go than electric?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, perfect.
No, I think for us, and certainly for motor traders we insure as well, there's got to be an element of succession planning here. I think really probably synthetic fuels is the way to go.
I've had a few people say to me, what are you going to do, Steve, with your hobby, your passion, if fuel's not available? I go, well, it's quite simple. I'll have a tank around the side there, like Mad Max style. I'll have the fuel delivered, because none of these cars go through much fuel, do they? I can put 5 litres or 10 litres in one of these, and it will see me the year because they're not doing many miles, but I'll have my own tank. And a lot of our collectors have said the same thing. Well, we'll just have our own tank. Like you have oil delivered for your heating, I'll have oil delivered for my cars, because this is my hobby. So this is all positive mental health stuff.
It is, and it's important for business. You've got the businesses that transport the cars, you've got the restorers, the sales
it's massive industry.
Coach trimmers. All of these industries come together. And we're coming up to the busy time of year, aren't we?
Exactly.
When occasionally the sun comes out and you can actually. Drive your cars.
I love the fact I can go out. I can go to the garage in the Cortina, and people will literally swamp me. you know, and they will ask me lots of questions. Can I sit in it, or can I just stick my head in the window and give it a smell? I've had this happen a few times.
Yeah.
And they go, I can remember the vinyl. I can remember it burning my seat and back of my legs, you know, in the back when I used to sit in the car on a hot day. I love little kids sitting in them and just and wishing I'm going to have one like this one day.
Yeah. So Steve, have you got any funny stories you can share with us that are car related?
Over the years, there's probably several. One day, me and Richard, my business partner, we had to go and pick up a Ford Fiesta XR2 and an XR3 sunburst red, which is more orange than red. One single washer jet on the bonnet. I knew this at the time. The first 50 Ford Escort XR3 before the injection had a single washer jet. Had problems dispersing the water, so they changed it in Ford and then they put 2. This one had one single washer jet. Makes it a really special car.
Okay.
We sold it to a collector in Ireland. Went to pick the cars up, went to the garage, we needed some fuel, and got the petrol pump, put it in the tank. There I stood there filling it up. Thought, I could smell fuel. God, it's a nasty smell of fuel. I looked down at my feet, and I'm not joking, the entire contents of the fuel tank was on the petrol forecourt. I was standing in the fuel, and I thought, oh, Christ. So the fuel was literally coming straight out of the tank. Put the nozzle back. Richard was with me. We were having problems starting it, so instead of driving it off, we had to push it. I stood behind it. As I was pushing, I slipped in the petrol and I fell into the petrol, right, and literally face planted the petrol. As I literally laid on the floor, I looked down. There was this little green Zippo plastic lighter that sat there beside on the petrol. And I shouted out to Richard. I said, oh my God, I said, there's a bloody lighter on the floor.
Was it? There was just a hole in the fuel tank? What was it?
Yeah, hole in the fuel tank. Just lost all its fuel. That was why it weren't starting. Yeah, so you've got to be careful with petrol.
I've got a similar fuel-related thing. When I was much, much younger, and I had a Renault 19, and I was putting a CD boot changer in the boot, needed to drill some holes, so we used a hand drill, drilling some holes in the boot floor. Similar story, actually, suddenly smelt petrol.
Oh, God.
So top tip, don't drill into fuel tanks, I think.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you today on Howden Original. It really has, Steve.
Cheers,
really
Tim.
appreciate your time.
Cheers. Thanks, mate.
Thanks very much.
Cheers. Nice to see you.
Cheers.
Cheers.